Hi Virgo, yay, happy birthday. Welcome to your September 2017 reading. I'm excited because it's my birthday too. Sorry. So yeah, I think it's always a nice thing when you can feel the energy of the sun entering back to its original position. There's a very powerful force that comes along with that. Couple things, I'm gonna do a little astrology touch on it a little bit. If you want to watch transits, you can watch another astrologer, but I do want to talk about the fact that not only does your sun coming back, we've got Mars, Venus, and Mercury in your sign already. It's going retrograde, but it will start going back direct on the 5th. So we've got all these planets in your sign. Keep in mind that at some point during the month, they're all going to be opposing Neptune, which is in Pisces, okay? And that's your house of relationships. So there could be some issues with blurred lines. I often see Neptune as being about boundaries, or rather lack thereof, right? And you may be being enhanced with your connection with others, okay? Or maybe confused or disillusioned, or maybe someone comes back from the past, okay? And there is indication that there may be some connection from the past coming in. So maybe someone comes back and you're not quite sure. You're not sure where to draw the line. You're not sure where or how to act, okay? Now, the reason why I'm talking about this is because as I was shuffling, getting the camera prepared, the tower fell out, okay? Now, I'm using a new deck. It's called the Hermetic Tarot deck. I'm a little concerned about the detail and the black and white and how it's going to look on the camera, but I'll put the camera down. But I do want to just show you that this one popped out as the first card, the Tower. So yeah, so there could be something sudden or something that is going to require change or require some kind of choice, okay? And if you can see on this card, there is the symbol of Mars up there in the corner. So Mars is about action. It's about doing something, okay? But because we've got this Neptunian opposition going on, it's likely that you may be feeling like you don't want to and fall back into old patterns, okay, or fall back into something. So it's important for you to stay aware and stay cognizant that your tendency to do that is just merely temporary, okay? So to stay on track, stay focused. Because you have so much in Virgo, it's all about work and tasks and getting things done, a lot of the practicality. Also in terms of health as well, because you are the sign of health. So focusing on getting things back on track for yourself, all right? So I am gonna put the camera down now and just continue to pull the cards. Having the Tower come out is actually a very powerful way to start the reading. Okay, so here we go. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. I've got this table that's I'm realizing now that there's so much that I don't have in this apartment, which is, like pretty stuff, tablecloths and all that, but it is what it is. Okay, so we've got the Tower, right? And it's forced change or forced something coming in that's requiring you to move in one direction or another, okay? It doesn't have to be anything big. I often see the Tower coming out when someone receives like a phone call, right? Or a text message or news of some kind, or someone does something. And it just really changes your direction in a somewhat dramatic way, okay? Now, if you resist what the Tower is wanting you to do, if you resist that, you're gonna hit further resistance. All right, because this is coming in for a purpose. It's coming in for a reason. It's coming in because the universe needs you to do something to change. Oh, there we go. It's requiring you to do something to change the direction. So, and the King of Swords. Okay, well, some of you may be dealing with an Aquarian or an air-like person, okay? Now, the kings in this deck are represented as the princes of the chariots, right? The prince of the chariot of the wind. What does that mean? Well, one, yes, kings are fixed signs, but they are very directed people, you know, and they can be very stubborn people as well, because they have their mind set on something and they just go. This particular person being of the wind, when you think of what the wind is, it's always constantly shifting and changing, and you know, this person is probably likely difficult to keep up with and difficult to understand at times, you know, being of the essence of Aquarius. Okay, we have a very rebellious person, or someone that really goes against the grain, you know, doesn't do it the normal way, quote unquote, the normal way. Someone that has a lot of idealism in their life, a lot of like big ideas, and yet might not necessarily have what you have, Virgo, which is the ability to make it happen. Okay, and it can be a very frustrating tension at times, you know, because you being so practical and so just like blunt at times, and like, well, you just do this, you just need to, this is all you need, you know. But remember that you're dealing with a different type of personality. Okay, they are different from you. So their inability to focus or to do what you need them to do, or for what they need to do in their own life at times, you know, they approach problems differently. And if you're having tension, because obviously there's a breaking point looming of some kind. There is some kind of a breaking point. Obviously, you know, it's important for you to be understanding, but at the same time, not sacrifice your own self or your own morals or your own direction, you know, because love is an interesting thing. It doesn't have to be love. It can love like romantic love. It can be platonic love, or love of a child, love of a friend. Love can be a tricky thing, because sometimes we do things that aren't in our best interest just because we love someone. And sometimes this person needs a little bit of tough love. I'd say all the kings need tough love sometimes, and they need people to be a little bit harsh with them, but not, you know, critical, but honest, you know. And then we have the sun here, Lord of the fire of the world. I'm changing my tune on the sun a little bit, okay, with this deck. And when we think of the sun, you know, we think of it as bright, light, love. And it is love. That's what the sun is. It is about love. But sometimes that sun can be very hot, you know, and sometimes that sun can pull away and give us winter. You know what I mean? And there is a flux with the sun. It ebbs and flows. It goes in and out. Now, this person may be a source of true happiness for you. Your love for them can be a beautiful thing, and I'm not going to try to deny that or try to take that away from you by any stretch of the imagination. So it's important for you to, again, the boundaries thing, to understand where the boundaries are. Because the King of Swords can be forceful, can be mean if they're in a bad mood. If they're in a good mood, it's like the best person in the world. They're super fun, super outgoing. They're very social at times. They're very creative, and they have this connection with other realms, if you will. They see things from a very innovative perspective. 10 of Pentacles. Look, this is a Virgo card, okay? This represents the third decan of Virgo, and it has a mercurial undertone, okay? When we think of Mercury with Virgo, it's a very powerful, I'm going to use that word powerful a lot, I realize that. But it is, you know, and we've got Mercury going back direct in your sign, meaning there's a lot of opportunity to attain the highest what? The highest of whatever it is you're trying to do. To attain the most, to get the most. Get the most out of this person, get the most out of yourself, get the most out of your finances, whatever. But it's all interesting circling and being founded in this idea of the tower. this idea of sudden change. Some of you may have someone introduced into your life again, or there is someone coming back. It's kind of was a theme that I talked about from the very beginning, was there's potential for someone to come back, or someone that has been kind of circulating in your life for a while, making some type of sudden reappearance. And there is a possibility of reconciliation for some of you. For others of you, it may go the other way. But it's all in your best interest. You know, it's all for the sake of acquiring the most. Okay, and this is the Lord of Wealth. And when we think of the Lord of Wealth, in its most positive sense, it represents the having of whatever it is you've set out to do. Okay? There is an element of togetherness and unity with these cards as well. So, being open, in essence, being open to what the universe is really trying to give you, and to not I want to say shove it under the rug, the tower, to not push it under the rug and to not ignore it just because it's not necessarily, you know, what you want. It's leading you in the right direction, Virgo. Okay. And the Ace of Swords. Speaks to mentalism. It's interesting that you've got the King of Swords and the Ace of Swords coming out. I really don't think this is you, Virgo. I really think this is someone else, okay? And the Ace of Swords is knowledge. Also the ability to control the mind as well. A lot of times it represents information coming in. Now it's obvious that there's going to be something sudden, okay? Something will be known to you. I don't know how that's going to speak to you, but there is going to be something that comes in that starts to make sense and really launches you into a new path. And what's interesting about this card is we have the palm leaf and the olive branch, all right? We've got the symbol for war and the symbol for peace, and the crown and the sword smack dab in the middle of them. This could be a source of, you know, there could be a lot of deliberation with this, and you're going to be forced to have to really say, okay, again, there's that Neptunian, what do I do? How do I do this? And you want to connect and you want to be apart, but at the same time, there's that pull toward individualism, and there's that pull toward a sense of self and what it is you want to do. So when you are feeling that tendency to open up and all this, it's not bad, but you need to really question your motives as to why. Because for some of you, it's going to lead to beautiful things, and for others of you, it could lead you down a difficult path, okay? So it's really dependent on your situation and what it is that you're really dealing with. There's a great deal of intuition needed with all of this. Now, that seems like kind of an obvious thing to say, but if you're dealing with someone, let's say romantically, that you're in love with, or someone that you have been in love with and they've been ignoring you, as an Aquarian typically does, they disappear and up and go, and you know, they're very difficult to catch, you know. So if you're dealing with someone like that, really that's the time when you need to ask yourself if this is truly in your benefit. And as much as you see potential and as much as you see what it could be, honestly, is it what it should be? Or is it what you've intended it to be? Ace of Swords can be a beautiful thing, but it can be cruel as well. You know, when you think of a sword piercing your crown, which represents your ego, right? Representing your big head, if you will, quote unquote. When you think of that, kind of like, oh, wow. Is it my ego? Is that all it is? Is it just getting what I want? Is it just having what I feel is, you know, just gonna make me feel good? Because at times your feelings are ego-driven, right? Not always, but at times they are ego-driven. So having this person come back, or having this person enter your life, or, You know, even if it's just an issue with you and your partner or someone in your family or someone at work, right? This is obviously a specific person. So whatever the thing is, okay, winning for the sake of winning or winning for the sake of the greater good. You know, getting your way because it's your way and you're passionate about it, or is it really truly for the greater good? So it's going to force you to really put yourself in check a little bit and to really ask yourself what the true motive is here. Because ultimately the true motive is to have everything and the best for everybody. You know, Virgo being such a service-oriented person, Sun and Ten of Pentacles, beautiful, beautiful cards. But for yourself or for everybody? These two cards indicate that it's for everybody. So there may need to be some compromise here. There may need to be some negotiation, I guess. Fortitude, strength. Now, the one thing I love about this is that it's called the Lord of the Flaming Sword. So you've got the mixture of fire and air, which is, you know, an ignition, right? They cannot exist without the other. Or, you know, a fire cannot exist without air. So some of you, whatever change is being asked of you, it is going to require a great deal of strength. Without question, strength and willpower, and maybe even patience as well. Now, this being somewhat of a turning point for you, it is important for you to note that, you know, this is the divine feminine, if you will, okay? Your connection with the ether. And its ability to control the lion, which is your physical world. And for you to control the outcome, essentially. Now, you might not, sorry, I didn't realize I was shaking the table so much. Control the outcome, but to put yourself in a position where you can feel your best, to put yourself in a position where you feel in alignment, you know, because that's what the one thing about the aces is, especially the Ace of Swords, because this is kind of like, it cannot be ignored. You cannot ignore this truth or this acknowledgement, and it is of this person, right? It's pointing right at it. It is of this person. Acknowledgement of truth about what they are and their true intentions, speaking to intuition, air, the sword, and the flaming sword. Okay, well, there's not going to be a real question about, how do I say this? There's not really going to be a question about who they are. Like, I don't think that this person has changed. I don't think that their circumstances has changed. I don't know if anything new, they're bringing anything new to the table for you. Okay? So you're going to need to act upon the honesty, you know? Because if you act against it, okay, that's you not taking control of the lion, then the lion is going to take control of you. Your physical world is going to take control of you. And like I said before, if you ignore what's happening here with the Tower and Strength, you're gonna hit up the cards like the Devil and the Death card, and it's going to force you into transformation, because these are cards of the universe calling upon you to do something, all right? And the Eight of Wands, the Lord of Swiftness. I feel like this is going to be a very in and out type of thing. Very in and out. It's going to come, you're going to deal with it, and then you're going to move on. And it's not necessarily, the focus here is not necessarily about the long term, because for each of you, the long term picture is going to be totally different. But it's about this moment. It's about this thing that could happen. And again, it doesn't have to come in a loud way, right? It's not going to be this life-changing moment like boom per se, but it is going to be that pivot. okay? And you're gonna feel it, you're gonna know. And when your intuition calls upon you, it is your job to truly listen, because the end game, the end goal is the 10 of Pentacles. And that's where you're headed. It's where you're going. There is an element of travel and communication for you here. So some of you may be traveling, or some of you may be dealing with, I don't know why I just got a Sagittarius. Some of you may be dealing with a Sagittarius. There is an element of Sagittarius here, Sagittarius and Mercury, okay? So there is swift movement, and there is change imminent. There's change, there is room for adaptability. And again, Sagittarius is a mutable energy. So when we have two things of Mercury here, so when we're talking about Mercury, now who was that? Who was Hermes? You know, the god, the messenger of the gods, but he was a god of a lot of things, of thieves. You know, he was a trickster, a prankster. He was a liar, but he also delivered people from the underworld and brought them to the world above. So he was good and bad. So you're really dealing with that good and bad element, and the Neptunian is going to really blur those lines. So it's going to be so important for you to really know what you stand for, and to really know what you believe and what you believe to be true. And it will be easier, it will be a better guide for you as you navigate through this thing that's going to come up, okay? 8 of Wands is a beautiful, again, 8 and 8. 8 is the infinity. 8 is the symbol of the quote-unquote as above, so below, you know? And to know that what's happening in your world is merely a reflection of the stars, okay? And you don't need to be a victim of what's going on in the stars. You can step aside, keep your objectivity about who this is, about what you know their true motive to be, you know, and to act accordingly so as to avoid the pendulum. You don't, you know, again, that's the law of rhythm in the universe. It's always ebbing and flowing and swinging right and swinging left. You don't have to be a victim to that, right? That's a very Buddhist thing, is you can remain neutral, again, between the palm and the olives and the olive branch. You can remain neutral and remain in alignment with what you know to be right and what you know to be good. If this is someone that has mistreated you in the past, okay, if this is someone that doesn't treat you well, run away. Get away from it, okay? If this person has created heartbreak and uses your emotion to boost their ego, and then they come and go, run away. This is your chance to run away and to take control of your world. You don't need that. You don't deserve it. No one deserves that. You deserve the sun. You deserve the 10 of Pentacles, okay? And the Princess of Cups. See, there's definitely a message looming. You know, it is looming. Now, it's potential. It's always a potential, okay? Aces and pages, there's always something. We've got the dolphin there, which is the power of creation, you know, the power of that moment when things could get going. So use your discretion, guys. I can't tell you specifics because you all have your own story. But we have the swan, you know, indicative of, I mean, the swan, right? Of growth, of, that's weird. Someone just sent me, I haven't had a chance to read it yet. I wish I had read it now. She had sent me she pulled a card for me. It was super sweet, and she pulled the swan. The change, right? Going from the ugly duckling into the swan. But that's you as well, you know. You don't have to, I feel like this person is, I'm getting a little bit of a tension vibe. There's definitely tension going on there. And, oh, see, and we have death. So what am I just talking about with that swan? And we have death here, which is the representative of Scorpio. But you know what this one's called? The child of the great transformers. It's not so threatening, is it? But, you know, the solar eclipse that we've got coming up in a couple days, so powerful, so strong, so intense, you know what I mean? And I'm sure you know what I mean. And it's your opportunity now to take hold of that change that is asking you no more. Like, there's a reason why this one came out here at the very top left corner, right? I kind of see this as being kind of where you are now, and then kind of the energies that you've been dealing with, and then kind of where you're going. It also, so it goes top down, but also left to right as well for me. So it's kind of like a mixture. This is called the spiritual guidance spread, guys. There's no like official positions here. But yeah, but there's a reason why he came out here, because he or she, this person, is kind of in the past. It's in the beginning, you know, but it's not necessarily where you're going. Death is a beautiful thing, and it should be embraced, and it should be used to its full potential, because it allows you to become that swan. And I am kind of seeing it as the caterpillar into a butterfly transformation. But then you have the ugly duckling into the swan. And even though you may receive this message from someone else, it is this message that will enable you to become that swan, or to go through this. Now, the death, the card of Scorpio is also represented by the phoenix, okay, the symbolism, and also the eagle. I don't know why the scorpion. I need to research that. I'm not a big fan of the scorpion symbol, but I get it. You know, it does make sense in some ways. But I love the eagle, and I love the phoenix, right? The phoenix rising up from the ashes, which we have the phoenix here in the top corner there, okay? The phoenix, and then you also have the eagle, which is a lord of the sky, you know, to soar high and to be powerful, to tap into your true capabilities and to rule your kingdom. So you think of an eagle, you think of a lion, you have king of the jungle, king of the sky. It's your opportunity to rule your kingdom, and this is the moment. This is the moment where you can do that, you know. And to truly, truly listen to your intuition, listen to your guides, listen to your heart, be aware that kind of like the universe is messing with you a little bit. Don't fall privy, don't fall for it. You know what I mean? And be careful of your own ability to disillusion yourself. You know, we all have that ability when Neptune is involved. So to not fool yourself, to be smart, keep your eye on the goal. If anything, like, take this moment to write it down, to figure it out, and stick to the plan. You know, stick to the plan. You know what, guys? I'm not going to do that many cards. I'm only going to keep it here because it's a new deck, and with the eclipse, I am a little bit energetically drained. So I'm just going to leave it here for this month. I hope you got something out of it anyway. I really hope you do. I wish you nothing but the best. And happy birthday to all my Virgos. All right? Thanks so much, guys. Bye.